Welcome to the Retention Nation podcast, the show for e-commerce brands looking to turn one-time and sometime buyers into lifetime and forever customers. Hosted by Isaac Hyman, an ex-VP of Retention and featured speaker, author, masterclass creator, and founder of High Flyer Digital. Each episode features successful brands, apps, and experts who are sharing cutting-edge, innovative, and proven email SMS retention insights that help them grow their business to the next level profitably. Our mission is to give you the retention strategies you need to unlock profitable, predictable, and scalable revenue from every customer on your list. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Retention Nation podcast. I'm your host, Isaac Hyman, and every time we have this podcast, we talk about how to turn those one-time or sometime buyers into lifetime buyers, thereby unlocking the true revenue potential of your customers and helping e-commerce brands scale profitably, predictably, and sustainably, which is really the goal, especially in 2024. How do you scale profitably and make it really work? As always, whenever we talk about a podcast, I always make a quick hook to say it's not just enough to listen to a podcast. You actually got to understand how to turn those one-time buyers into lifetime buyers. So I always recommend you get a hard copy of our 330-page Ultimate E-commerce Email and SMS Playbook right here. It's a great guide to help you really unlock the true revenue potential of your list by thinking beyond just email and SMS. And that's actually a great segue to who our guest is here today with us. They have done such a great job on helping brands unlock the true revenue potential of their customers by using customer service and just helping with the customer experience. So let me introduce my next guest here. It's Olivia Parker. Olivia Parker is TalentPop's Senior Partnerships Manager with 7+ years of experience on the revenue generating side of SaaS and e-commerce, with vast experience working on the retention side of e-com with an Attentive, Loyalty Lion, TripAdvisor, and more. And just as a background to TalentPop, TalentPop is on a mission to revolutionize the way businesses build out their teams, positioning themselves as the ultimate hub for connecting brands with the world's most talented e-com experts, especially within customer service and experience. So thank you for being here with us, Olivia. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your experience working with TalentPop and how brands are actually using customer service and experience in their retention efforts.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I'm tickled. This is my first podcast appearance, so I'm really excited to be here. I've been at TalentPop now for about a year and a half, and when I started here, we had about 500 e-commerce brands that we were working with, and we are about to surpass 1,000. So we've seen tremendous growth as more and more companies see the value of cool, we have amazing SMS marketing, we have amazing email marketing, and then what do we do with all these new customers once we get them in the door? And that's where we help out. So we help manage that customer experience from, pre-acquisition all the way through post-acquisition, social channels, the full sort of customer experience, the full customer route for a brand we help manage. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive in.
Yeah, you made some really great points there, and this month also we also passed working with 150+ brands, cumulatively overall. So good milestone for you, you personally and professionally. But one thing that I've always noticed, and this is also back when I was working as a VP of retention for some of the big brands, is that customer service to a lot of people is usually viewed as reactive, right? You react to a message, or a complaint, an issue, a challenge, product lacking, whatever. Yet it seems to me that the best way to leverage it also seems to, by your experience at TalentPop, is to also be proactive. Are you seeing that shift, and how are you leveraging that opportunity?
Yeah, so that's definitely a big conversation in the customer service space. So I spent time, at some traditionally sort of retention focused companies like we touched on, like Attentive and Loyalty Lion.
Yep.
But previously I was actually at Gladly, which if you guys are not familiar, if you're not familiar, they're an enterprise customer service help desk. So they're the tech that brands use to sort of manage customer interactions. I was on the sales team, and I cannot tell you how many calls I got on with people that were like, I have a backlog of 12,000 tickets. I have all of these irritated customers, and I need your help. And so we were having these very reactive conversations with them, like, oh my God, we need to help you fix this problem. And a big part of our process was educating them. And this is something that I work really hard on today too, to show them that customer service is not a second wave implementation. It should be something that you're thinking about when you're building your new Shopify store, when you're migrating over to a new e-commerce platform, when you're doing a rebrand. You need to be thinking about customer service. And I will say, in the 3 or 4 years since I was at Gladly, I have seen that change. Brands are coming to customer service, to TalentPop specifically, when they're pre-launch, when they're, in their baby startup phase, because they know that customer service will help them scale. So I do think that there is an industry shift. It is an ongoing education of being like, your pre-launch, you should have one rep that is there to sort of like field anything that's incoming while you're building things out. So yes, definitely has traditionally been reactive. We are moving in a more proactive way. TalentPop has a lot of processes built out around being proactive. So I'll go into depth on that in a bit. But for sure, traditionally, a lot of these conversations are like you just said, like panic, like help. I
Yeah.
need help. I need help. I'm
Yeah.
working out of a Gmail inbox.
Fire started, got to put that out first. Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of issues with that. And I've always felt like customer service in general has always been really just people answering phones and kind of going through the motions. Yet it seems also that having an expertise on a subject matter expert is also the way to go. Have you seen that kind of shift from just answering phones to be a subject matter expertise?
That's something that we focus really heavily on. So there is a lot of education when it comes to, okay, we're building a new customer service team. We're trusting you to find agents for us, to manage agents. And ecom brands today are very, very focused on brand voice. Like, you think about all the time and effort that goes into marketing, that goes into their social media presence, that goes into the people that they hire, where their offices are. All of that is like very carefully thought out. And so the hesitancy around customer service or bringing in someone outside like TalentPop is like, can you embody what my brand does? And the answer is yes. So for us, we put a very heavy emphasis on recruitment, and sort of like, we're not just saying, all right, here's a team of people that can answer your like Wismo questions, which is like, where is my order? But we're saying, here are experts in your vertical. Here are people that have 4+ years in customer service experience, that have 2 years ecom specific, that are ready to work for you, that have worked for brands, XYZ in your vertical, and that we can get live for you in 3 weeks. So we're very focused on like matching, like we talked, like you mentioned when you introduced me, but not just saying like, here are some agents, but like, here are some agents that fit who you are and who your brand is. And like, you're a baby brand, you want to work with agents that have kids, cool. Like, we can recruit for that and we can make that happen. So yeah, that's a very big conversation piece that we
Yeah.
come up against. Like, how are you
Super
guys going to
personalized.
help us with our brand voice? Yeah.
Yeah, personalized approach to customer service, and they need that. I think that's really amazing you say. Um, and I'll remember that acronym WISMO. I don't think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So what again, not to go into my background again, but when I was also
Yeah.
at the top brands, what was interesting about customer service is that we also leveraged it for following up with people who abandoned their cart, or using it for, and I worked with some retailers who would let phone calls be a way to break map and to offer discounts that technically they weren't supposed to offer discounts to. Don't tell anyone. But those were some, right? Those are some of the more advanced strategies that brands are that the top brands are doing. Are you seeing that brands can leverage those same strategies, those same tactics using TalentPop or some version of it thereof?
So you've seen my pitch deck. I won't make everyone here suffer through, exactly what Talent Hub does. But in a nutshell, like, we are extremely focused on revenue generation. And so a couple of things I want to touch on here. First of all, I keep getting this sort of like conversation started with me, which is, are you worried about AI? And don't worry, this ties back into what we were going to talk about. And the answer is no. So we personally love AI. It answers, like I just said, our Wismo questions. Our agents are then freed up to have revenue generating conversations. So services that are tied into what we offer. So no upcharge, no like, this is just part of our core offering. We have proactive live chat, which is really amazing. If brands aren't leveraging this now, they really, really need to be. On average, we see about a 12% increase to existing conversion rate just by having someone, when you're on a product page, be like, hey, do you have any questions about this product? Can I help you with this at all? Like, I see that you've been on this blue sweater page for 23 seconds. Do you have questions about it? Or you keep coming back to this? Let me offer you a promo code to sort of get you across the finish line. So that's something that we're doing on behalf of our brands. We do have calling abandoned carts, which is pretty cool. It has an 18% pickup rate, which I'm always amazed by in the age of like, I don't answer unknown callers. So we do get an
Right.
18% pickup rate on those, 25% close rate, which is a pretty significant number. And then I would say the other two like rev gen sort of functions that we tie into our offering, social media management. So if you're a big brand with a big social media presence, a big headache is like answering comments. We have brands that get thousands of comments a day. And if you're not in there answering, chances are you are losing out on revenue opportunities. People are like, when are you restocking this product? When can I expect the sale to start on X, Y, and Z? And you can have TalentPop agents in there be like, here's a link to our sale, or actually, we did drop that product. Here's where you can find it. And then lastly, subscription churn. That's a big pain point for e-commerce brands. They get people into subscriptions, and then people are like, what is this recurring charge on my credit card? I
Hmm.
don't want to use this anymore. So we've trained our agents to sort of have those conversations like, hey, I want to churn. We can make them offers, like you mentioned, like retention offers, but then we'll also call canceled subscriptions to win them back. So this is all part of like, in our eyes, this is part of customer service. This is the new wave of customer service.
Yeah, I feel it's a new wave of conversational commerce. Even
Hmm.
we always considering we run an agency for this, we tend to look at email and SMS as the best ways of getting a customer, like you said, a risk of churn or win
Right,
them back from
right.
churning. Yet it seems like customer service has now slotted themselves in as a great way to work together. Where do you
Exactly.
find customer service has been better in some ways than email and SMS, or really been part of the journey?
I would not say it's better. I would not say one is better than the other. Ideally, you're doing all three. You're leveraging SMS, you're leveraging email, and you have a killer customer service team that's picking up
Yeah.
the rest of the work. But the way I like to think about our relationship with SMS and email agencies and tech is sort of like a real world example. So, like, imagine you're promoting your business on, a bunch of billboards on I-35, which is a big highway in Texas. I don't know any of the big highways up here. You're promoting your business really heavily. You have flyers going out, whatever. This is like the in-person version of SMS or email. All of these people show up to your store, and there's nobody working there. It's an empty.
Mm.
It's a fully stocked store, but nobody's there to greet you. Nobody's there to answer your questions about products. Nobody's there to come up to you and be like, "Hey, are you looking for something in particular? Can I help you?" So that's sort of like how I slot us in with SMS and email products and agencies is like you guys do all this work to bring people to the site and to like get people interested, so we just want to help you complete the cycle. Once they're on the
Yeah.
site, let us help you close the sale. So that's kind of how I see our relationship coexisting.
Oh,
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. And first off, the New Jersey Turnpike is really popular here. It's on The Sopranos, so we take a lot of pride in that. But you raise a good point because it has to be there at the moment, probably when the customer is about to convert, or the moment
Right.
when the customer's in that buying mode. So that's fascinating that you slide yourself in conjunction with it, which is
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah, you can't have one
Yeah.
without the other. You need it
Right.
all. If you're going to compete, you need it all.
Yeah, and along those lines, I'm curious. I'm assuming there's some sort of attribution model you use to track results and ROI, or does it feel like attribution is tricky, right? But how do you guys track those results, and how do you see the impact on it?
Attribution is definitely tricky. So we can track it in a few different ways. Obviously, we track like response time, we track CSAT, we track like, how quickly are our proactive agents sort of reaching out to customers. We also have other ways, like, we talked about this, but if a customer's in a chat with us and we offer up a coupon code, hey, it was great talking to you. Here's a code to complete your purchase. That's very easily trackable. We're also on top of our metrics all the time. So with TalentPop, you're not, I think I've touched on this, you're not just getting a team of agents, but you're also getting a dedicated CSM, you're getting a team lead, you're getting this full customer service org that you as a brand are checking in with as much as you want. So you'll have a Slack channel, You can have a weekly touch base, a monthly touch base, whatever works for you, where we're going to review all the statistics from all of your channels. So we don't have any of our own tech. That's why we work very closely with our partners. We look at attribution on our partner side. We look at our own attribution. We present a very holistic picture to the client of like, here's how you're performing on your e-commerce site with all of the tech and all of the people that work for it. So we're not necessarily like in huge competition for attribution, I guess is what I would say.
That's incredible. Being, I guess the word is tech agnostic. That's the word.
Exactly.
Seems like that's a huge value overall, not just for customer service, but just in general to have that, other layer of oversight,
Mm-hmm.
which is fantastic to
100%.
see.
100%. Yeah. It's one of the things I love most about working for TalentPop is coming from a tech background and being like very sort of roped into, okay, we integrate with these providers and that's it. Here it's sort of like, oh, you work with like a new tech that we've never heard of. Great. We're going to train our team on it and then we're going to get agents trained on it and sort of like be able to launch with it. So it's really fun. You get to learn
That's
about a lot of new products.
Yeah, and I read on your blog, there was this concept that you have of customer journey mapping,
Yep.
where you can map out the entire flow. I'm assuming for acquisition, for retention, for really product-based, whatever it may be. Are you
Mhm.
seeing brands are starting to map out their journey with email, SMS, customer service, push notifications, or are you seeing that this is a room for opportunity in 2024 and beyond?
It's something that's a heavy focus for our team currently is to sort of be like, okay, we, in my opinion, have cracked the code on excellent customer service. We do a great job at recruitment. We do a great job at matching agents to brands. We do a great job at revenue generation. It's sort of like, okay, now what's next? Which partners of ours are really tightly integrated into our ecosystem? Which ones can we actually, track from start to finish in conjunction with what our agents are doing? We did recently release our TalentPop app, which integrates with some help desk providers, just to sort of like begin to have a hub where we can map this customer journey. Like, how did they get here? What did they buy? So yeah, it's definitely part of our next wave for sure.
That's incredible. It's good to see that. And just knowing that 3 out of 4 buyers seem to be one and done, customer
Mhm.
service has the opportunity to win them back. I mean, we just got off a phone call with a brand that had a 15% repeat purchase rate, right? Getting from 15 to 25 or 25 to 30 would be fantastic for their business. And
Mhm.
are you seeing customer service being leveraged in that way, not just reactive, but helping reduce churn? That's kind of what you're saying?
100%. 100%. I mean, I think about my own journey as a buyer. Everyone buys stuff online, like everybody does. And the sites that I return to over and over again are the sites that time and time again offer me a great experience. Whether that's super friendly agents or I had a broken product and instead of like making me jump through a bunch of hoops to return it for credit or whatever, they just refund me.
Yeah.
Wherever I can like get a consistently good experience is where I want to shop. Um, so I think that that's sort of like the biggest churn reducer in customer service. I mean, think about it. You would never like if someone gave you a terrible experience for an expensive product, you would probably never shop there again, right?
No,
Right.
definitely not.
So, mhm,
At the same time, you also, customer service almost, when you think about a store, people almost like customer service go away. I don't even want to talk to anyone. I'm here to shop myself. Don't bug me. But there's a fine line between, maybe not anymore, but fine line between customer service and sales rep, right? Customer service is meant to be helpful, educational, whereas sales rep maybe is like that hard sell. But it
right.
seems like you've really got a good distinction there.
Yeah, I think that there is definitely a hard line. People nowadays have less patience for like a traditional sales rep, but when you're coming at it from a customer service angle and sort of like taking this approach of being like, how can I help you? It naturally turns into a selling conversation. I think also like for me, coming from a sales background, sales is when you're doing it well, elevated customer service. You should be
Yeah.
asking many more questions than you're receiving, right? So, the more questions a customer service rep is asking you, the more opportunities they're able to generate for a sale, a happy customer, um, a subscription, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think that the book Ultimate Sales Machine, right? Selling breaks rapport, education builds rapport. It seems like the customer service side has to be that education and helpfulness,
For
which
sure.
is huge, huge. One thing that, brands may be concerned about, or maybe they had a concern in the past and maybe you've solved it, was the scalability of it. Customer
Mhm.
service can only reach out to so many people. There's only so many, phone calls you can manage at a time. How do you deal with challenges or issues or worries about scalability, especially during like peak season of Q4?
No, isn't it crazy that like we're already in the second half of the year? I'm
I
I'm
know.
literally telling my partners, I'm like, you should start thinking about Black Friday. Like
Yeah,
really.
that's gonna be my next question too.
So in terms of scalability, well, let me back up a little bit. So a lot of brands, I think part of the reason that customer service is pushed aside traditionally is because it's very overwhelming. You look at this like your site and you're like, okay, I need live chat, I need SMS support, I need phone support, I need social media management. I need all of these different platforms to do all of these different tasks. I don't know where to start, so I'm just not going to do it. Okay. So where we come in terms of scalability is we have a very flexible model. So first things first, we have no long-term contracts. We're built for scaling companies. Companies pre-launch can come to us and be like, hey, I need one agent for now. Cool. In 6 months, in a year, or for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they need to up their team by 4 agents. We need 3 weeks of heads up so we can re-recruit and train and add to their team. Once peak season's over, they can pull those agents off. But basically, we exist to take the headache out of scaling. When you need to scale, you turn to your TalentPop CSM and you're like, here's what's up. I need to up my team. Here's my timeline. You do it, and we'll go and we'll do it for you.
That's huge. That's a great relief, what you just
Mhm.
said. It seems like I like the idea that you had like that buyer paralysis that
Totally.
brands don't always understand that they face it, yet their customers are facing it. That paralysis of like, I have so much to do, even on the agency side. I have to do email, I have to do SMS, I need someone who's a copywriter, I need a designer, I need that I'm not even going to start.
Right.
And just you solved it right there with just this easy kind of turnkey situation. It's a solution.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly could not be easier. And we talked about this, but being tech agnostic, we do make recommendations all the time. So if you come to us and you're like, I'm just starting, I don't know what to do, we'll be like, cool, this is what we typically recommend. Or you're in this vertical, you should look into these platforms. We'll connect you, we'll do the groundwork for you. So it is a very like comprehensive solution.
So if you were to plan for, let's say, Black Friday right now, or there's a brand out there looking to start saying, you know what, I probably should get serious this quarter because I left a lot of money on the table and I want to think beyond just, I want to think incremental to just
Yeah.
email, SMS, or retention. How would you recommend a brand start right now thinking about Black Friday peak, Cyber Monday peak, and Q4?
My first thought is evaluate your performance last year. What did your response times look like? What were your KPIs for your team, and did they meet them? So if you just start there and you look at response time, what does it look like? Is it satisfactory? Is it slow? How many tickets did you get that were negatively flagged? What did your CSAT scores look like? Go back a year and do an evaluation. Just run through the numbers. How did we perform? Um, and then I would say the next step after that is sort of like, okay, here's how we performed. Here's what I want to fix. I also would say look into the channels you were active on during your last peak. A big indication that you were not staffed appropriately is that you don't have all your channels turned on. You don't have live chat. You don't offer SMS support. You don't have phone support. You're just operating through a contact form or an email form. You're missing out on a bunch of revenue and a bunch of return customers. Get someone ready for live chat, at least for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, someone that can be on there and answer questions in real time. So I would say evaluate your channels, evaluate your response times, and start there. Don't get overwhelmed. Just look at your past
Yeah,
performance and then
right.
go from there. See what was missing. Don't
Yeah.
have to do a full overhaul, but just sort of like see how you can improve.
Those data-driven decisions are make the whole difference, right? It's just starting with the data, starting where the gap is, and then adapting to that.
100%. 100%. 100%. I think, yeah, it's
That's huge.
the best way to approach it. Take it bite by bite. Don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah. That's huge. So, I know we're almost at time. But is there anything else you want to share about TalentPop and as you go into Q4 or as you're looking into the rest of the year? Like you said, the second half of the year, we're already there. Anything that you would recommend brands look at right now, be it within TalentPop or just within the whole customer service ecosystem?
I think the things I just touched on, how did you perform in your last Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Was it up to snuff? I would also do a tech stack evaluation. What are my marketing efforts looking like? Where am I marketing? Who am I marketing to? And who do I have handling those responses? So it is a very sort of like holistic view of what you're doing. In terms of how we can help you right now, we are offering an audit of your tech stack and of your customer service experience. So if you're a brand or an agency or a tech company looking to sort of like, okay, how can I help my brands get up to speed for this peak season? We can do that for you. We can just sort of like run through everything and be like, here's how you performed last year. Here's how we can help you perform better. So that's something that we're able to offer currently. Reach out to me or whoever, me, and I will help you get into the room with the right person for that.
Big, that's big. And I'll be a testament to that. The brands are starting to do a lot of their tech audits. I've already audited about 5-6 brands who want to condense their tech, understand where they are, where their profits are going, where their subscription, their recurring revenue is going, and enhancing, using it to enhance their strategy for the rest of the year. So that's great. That's a huge opportunity. So again, they can go to, I guess, talentpop.co to learn more.
Absolutely. Shoot me an email, find me on LinkedIn. My email is olivia@talentpop.co. I'm always happy to help, whether you're a brand, an agency, or a tech partner. Please reach out. And for that audit, send me a message and we'll get on it. This was so fun.
Yeah, for sure. This is great. And it's good to see that, again, brands are starting to think just like you are, that there's more to retention, there's more to conversion than just sending another email or sending another text. I feel like brands have in this mindset that they need to send more, send more, send more. It's not about sending more, it's about building better customer relationships, and customer service does just that. So any final words? Anything else you want to share finally?
Don't wait too long to start prepping for Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
There you go.
That's my final note. Give yourself a
Yeah,
deadline of August 15th to get those balls rolling.
perfect time.
That's it. Very appreciative of you for having me on, and this was super fun. Thank you.
Yeah, great. So thank you for joining us on another episode of the Retention Nation podcast. As always, it's all about building better customer relationships, and email, SMS, and retention does one thing, but customer service is a great way to add to that. Again, recommend you get a copy of my book. Go to highflyerdigital.com/playbook. It's a free copy. You might as well get it. It could be a paperweight if you want. But this has been really great, Olivia, and I really learned a lot, and I heard some great insights that I'm going to take away to our clients and our brands we work with, and definitely share the word and spread the word to the communities I'm in. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening to the Retention Nation podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and join our Retention Nation Facebook group. If you want to put this week's retention strategy into action within minutes, all done for you by our expert email, SMS, and retention team, you can go to highflyerdigital.com/book for a free 15-minute chat with myself and my team. It's time to turn those one-time and sometime buyers on your list into lifetime buyers and unlock the revenue you deserve. Your brand is worth it, and your customers will thank you for it. Until next week, I'm Isaac Hyman, wishing you a successful and profitable week.